Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gatorlight, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gatorlight hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Running a small business means I wear lots of hats. When I put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn Hiring Pro to make it easy. LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps manage my hiring workflow, puts my job post in front of a unique network of professionals, and matches me with the best candidates for my business. I can also share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. No wonder most small businesses say they'd use LinkedIn Hiring Pro again. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coach Unplugged. I'm so happy you decided to join us. Before we get started today, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shoe machine in the market. I've said this multiple times. We own 3 of them. I want a 4th and a 5th. My AAD's listening to me, but they're so great. They work so well. They're so easy to set up. I think my record is 37 seconds or 32 seconds to set it up. But mention Coach Unplugged, they'll give you $450 off. Mention Coach Collins, they'll take really good care of you. And also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's a one-stop shop for basketball coaches. It's everything you need from a nationally ranked. We won 3 state titles. I think we were just talking recently. We've won over 460 games in our program and lost 130 over the last 20 years. And I think we know the secret sauce to be successful, the roadmap, what it takes on and off the court. So go over and check it out and enjoy the podcast. Bye. Shooting, screening. Our big emphasis this year is going to be screening because we're horrible.
That's why I switched to the dribble drive.
Yeah.
My head was getting bloody on the block wall that I was banging it against, trying to get my kid screen.
No. We're going to teach them how to move. We're going to set moving screens because no one calls it. So anybody that's listening, I don't know. Like whatever.
Yeah. No, and we do a lot of 3-on-3, but you made me think with a lot of what we do 3-on-3 is offensive.
Right.
We'll start a 3-on-3 out of like a ball screen, or we'll start 3-on-3 off a dribble handoff, where it's not defensive oriented, it's more offensive oriented.
Yep.
So.
And then you have You have one assistant.
No, I think I have. What do I have? 3.
Oh,
and then
you're good then. So I would break it up. It's like you can do. And how many you keep on your roster? 15.
Well, see, I have C team through varsity.
Okay.
We all practice together. Like we just have to because of gym space and stuff.
Yep.
So last year was actually really good. We had between the 3 levels, we had like 28 kids, which for me was good.
That's not bad. That's really good. Okay.
My first year we had 45 guys in the gym.
Yeah, that's too many.
That was nothing.
That's too many. Yeah, so you could break it down where you could have 6 going here, 1 coach watching, 6 going here, 1 coach watching. I mean, you could definitely do that. And all you need is a basket. It's not like you need the full. So even if you're sharing gym space, it makes it easier. And then I keep score on everything I do. Everything's a competition. When I tried
that last year, and I had a whole idea where I was going to keep track of winners, and like it was going to be like a pride thing on the board. Kids will not. I get a weird group of kids. They will not keep track of their scores. Like, we're doing like the team stuff, and all right, where are you guys at? And you get like the kid look around, like he doesn't know he's going to make up a number because he knows that he's not counting. I got kids that just won't keep track of scores. It's the weirdest thing.
And they're not. Are they competitive?
Super competitive. Like there have been times where we got to stop and talk about being a good teammate. Like these kids go at it. They're best friends. That's part of the problem, is that I have such a young group, and they've been best friends because they've played together over the years. Got younger kids. Like they're best friends, but they just go at each other. but they don't keep track of score. It's a weird
That
anomaly.
is, I'm gonna. That's a first for me. I'm gonna have to think about that because teenage boys are just like, I mean, crazy. I mean, they'll be competitive about walking to the bus kind of thing, you know.
I think they're like Labradors going for a ball. They just keep going. They keep going. They don't think about what they're doing. You know, they just keep going.
Right.
Keep
Which
going.
there's pluses to that, but that goes back to what you were saying before. If they're Labradors and they're only going after the ball, that's where maybe down the stretch at the end of the games, they're not cerebral enough to be thinking.
And that's the biggest thing. And that was kind of like they'll get up on teams 20, 30 points, and all of a sudden we'll have this mental checkout for like 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Yep.
Like we've had stretches this summer where we've scored 30 points in 2 minutes and then not scored for 10.
Right. And again, that's youth. I'm thinking back to the problem we were talking about before. I think some film sessions would be really good where you go on YouTube and find some situations and then say, okay, here's the situation. We're Kentucky. What are we going to do? And then have them get a piece of paper out and write it down and then watch the clip. And then you can talk about it. I think you've got to get, especially after I never heard of teams not keeping score, not being competitive. At the high school boys level, I have not. So that I think that might be a good thing to do. So that could be your off season kind of thing, is just find some clips. And then, or you could even send it to them. Like I don't know if you use what kind of way you communicate, if you snap with them or remind or max one or team snap or whatever, but you could do it as kind of a weekly, like, hey, we're just here it is. And then I want you to send me your response after you know, whatever. And then here's the situation. And then I'll send you the clip tomorrow after I get your reaction kind of thing. You just want them to start thinking about it, and that'll be fun for them, I think.
And that's something that we didn't talk about using the actual like Kentucky or whatever. We talked about using our game film from last year because we have so many new guys this year.
Right.
I mean, they're not even watching themselves. Like, you know, 3/4 of guys that are going to play this year didn't even really play a minute last year. So I think we can use last year's game film. Yeah. And break that down because all these guys are gone now.
Right. So it's like you're using, and you'll know that better. Just sometimes you might want to, and I have found when I've done this in the past, is you want to change it up. You want to put some Steph Curry in there.
Yeah.
Just because they're not as excited about watching old guys from their high school teams as they are the other ones. So they're more likely to watch it, is what I have found. Sure. But that will work. Something like that. That might feed into some of the, you know, issues with your team. Yeah.
The next question to you is how much shooting do you do in practice?
Not as much as I should recently. This year, I have a notebook. I don't have my backpack here. So I started a notebook at the end of last season because I was frustrated with a couple things. And I've slowly filled it up with things that we need to change for next year. And we are going to shoot more. We have to shoot more because I don't think people shoot as well as they used to. And we got ourselves in some situations like you where we went spans where we couldn't score. And it's part of it is like, it's like we get in the grinder in the season and it's like, you know, situations and shooting are the two things that and free throws are the three things that tend to get lost in practice for me.
Right.
So shooting is going to be, I'm going to chunk, you know, usually in a 2-hour practice, I'm going to chunk 15 minutes, probably at least until January. And here's the issue I've noticed is my guys are shooting the ball really well right now because they've been in the gym, they've been playing. I'd say 90% of them play a fall sport. So they lose that. You know, there's a mental part to shooting too. So what I'm going to try to do is in October, slowly start getting them back into the gym again and do morning shooting.
2-hour practice, you have 15 minutes devoted to it? I mean, like solely to shooting?
Shooting.
I don't quite go 2 hours. I go about an hour 45 or so. And I do at least 20 minutes. And I didn't think I was doing enough.
No, that's enough. And the thing is they can do it. The shooters will find ways to shoot. Yeah. So and I'm not calling pre-practice where we have stuff on pre-practice. So I'm not counting, you know, for the most part we have two Dr. Dishes going. So when they come in, they're either on a Dr. Dish or they're doing works with my assistants. So they don't just come in and start jacking around before practice. So I'm not counting that in it. The kids that get on the machines probably get 100 shots up before I even walk in the gym. So I'm not counting those, but shooters will get shots. So you probably know who your shooters are. Like my son's a shooter. He'll stay after practice. He'll come in the morning. He'll find his own spots for that. But yeah, 15, 20 is plenty. Now that goes up again January, February, when my practices get shorter and I'm less Xing, Oing and worrying about those kind of things. Then my shooting does go up. Because it doesn't take a lot for them to get shots up, physically, because they're getting drained.
Okay. Yeah, and I haven't had, I guess, really great shooters the last handful of years, so that could be part of it.
Yeah.
We have a team, we have a lot of really good shooters, but we still go through stretches where we just can't hit a shot. We had league games last night, and we were playing a team, and it's a team from the reservation that's close to us. So it's just an up and down brand of basketball.
Right.
And we scored like 95 points in a running time game. It was just nuts, but we were shooting well. And this summer, like when we shoot well, I think we can beat every team in our section when we shoot well. But when we don't shoot well, it's going to be a struggle to beat these like 500 teams.
So you got to come up with some mentality of like offensive rebounds and things like that. You also got to think about them as bullets in the gun. And if A ain't working, then put B in. If B ain't working, put C in. You just got to keep reloading the gun, because if kids are off, they might be off just for the first half. You put them back in, because shooters are going to shoot.
Right.
So you just got to try to find the combination that's working and ride it.
I have a couple of confidence shooters where if they make one, they're going to make 10.
Right.
But if they miss like their first couple, watch out for the rest.
But then they can't play.
Right.
They can't play.
The conversation I've had with these kids, we have 10 guys, and they said if you're going to mentally check out, you can't play.
Right.
If you're not going to get back and turn and transition, then you just can't play.
And they need to come up. They need to come up with a cue to let it go, like the 3 clap thing I do with my son when he gets frustrated. I said, you can be mad till the 3rd clap's over, and then you got to let it go. You got to be a goldfish, man. You got to have like a 3-second memory and then be done. Because shooters shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's we pulled kids out because they'll miss one or two, then they won't shoot again. So.
And that's a great summer lesson to teach, because it doesn't matter.
Right, you're out there to shoot right now. If we're doing everything right, like on our primary break, and we get you in the corner and you don't shoot the ball,
right?
It's like the guys that busted their ass to get you that ball in that spot. You need to shoot.
Right.
I got a big one for you here, and I don't know the answer to this. And maybe if anybody ever figures this out, maybe they'd be the best coach in the world. Limiting turnovers. Oh my gosh, limiting turnovers. And I know it's part of our inexperience, but it's not even forced turnovers. It's just silly turnovers. And I know it's young kids.
It is. Yeah. And how are they happening? Are they happening in pressure situations? Are they just mentally checking out?
I mean, it's just poor decisions. So the other night, we turned the ball over twice on inbounds, so we weren't even pressured. It doesn't even make sense. It's just.
First of all, there's no easy fix to this. This is a couple things, because I've had teams like this too. You have whatever you emphasize they're going to do, coach, and turnovers are my pet peeve. Yeah. So I pointed and I'll stop practice and go, stop. That's a 6-point turnaround, and they'll look at me like, what are you talking about? And it's like, it's 3 points we can make, 3 points they can make. Every time you turn the ball over, it's a 6-point turnaround. So you have to take care of the ball. And then I talk about, I'd rather have. Are they losing it on the ball, or is it passing it?
Mostly passing. That's actually it's.
Well, then don't make the pass. I'd rather have the 5-second count. That's what I tell my guys when we play teams are better. I say, I don't care if you don't have an open lane and you can't make the pass. Take the 5 count. Because we can get back and play. We can get back and play defense.
But it's even in the half court. I would say an overwhelming majority of our turnovers do come on just bad passes. How do you work that out?
You got to show them. Are you filming? Did you film the summer?
I didn't film the summer, no. Which I should have, because we have unlimited on crossover. We have unlimited like practice and scrimmage stuff. I should have put that on there. But.
Yeah, so I think what you got to do is like start showing them. It goes back to the other part too. I think film is going to, with youth, I think film is going to be your godsend. Maybe film practice sometimes and just say, hey, what were you thinking? And then you got to ask like why questions to them. Why did you make that pass? What did you see? Don't answer it for them, because you got to kind of try to get in their brains a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, did you see the guy's numbers? Did you see his hands? Why did you make the pass? Blah, 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 blah. Don't make the spectacular pass.
That's what I think our guys do. They want to make these great passes. When I tell my guys, 2 good passes is just as good as a great pass. You know, make a simple pass. 2 simple passes also get us the bucket. You don't have to, you know, throw that one between the dude's legs behind the back.
Yeah. And I'll stop. And I literally will stop practice. I'll go, what? No, stop. You're not playing at the United Center. Stop it. It's like, you know, don't be, you know, there's no difference. And I'll literally grab a, because I'll be so mad. I'll grab a ball and say, hey, you know, we use PGC stuff. So we talk about breaking a window. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you heard that?
I've heard it. You know,
yeah. So there's a window here right above the head that's impossible to deflect. And then there's 2 windows here and 2 windows at the hip. So you should break one window and then pass in a different window when you're getting pressured.
Yeah.
So window, ear, basically over the shoulders. If I'm defending, I can't get – if you pass right here by my ear, I can't physically get up there and deflect it. It's impossible. And above the head's the same. So, you know, you close a hip window and then you go through a window. We talk about breaking windows all the time.
Okay.
So you got to come up with something like, hey, break a window and then pass in a different window, you know, otherwise, so it won't get deflected. And if you can't make that pass, then they're not open. So I think you got to come up maybe with some terms, you know, you got to see the numbers. We talk about that all the time. If you don't see their numbers, don't make the pass. What are you doing?
We're getting to a point now, especially like my little point guard, like he knows when he makes a bad pass and he'll know when he lets go of it. He'll audibly, and the ball's still in the air. Like he knows it and it's getting there.
Right.
And he can tell me why. You know, he comes to the bench. We talk about why that was a bad pass, and he knows.
Yes. So that's good. So by the time he's a senior, you're going to be fine. Trust me. Yeah.
Well, I want to win games now.
I know.
It's a sophomore.
So it's like it's a teachable moment is the way I think of every one of those. And so early in the season, I would definitely spend a lot of film time on. I'd go through every shot. I'd go through every turnover. I'd rank them all in front of their friends. It's like, and you know, I tell my guys, I said, it's quiet in here and I'm not picking on you and everybody's going to have it, but let's rank that shot. What do you think that shot was?
We talk about shot selection all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm glad that you do that too. That's some validation because I rank my kid every game. Our kids get a ranking. And so it's a number of different things. Like, you know, they get a +2 for an offensive rebound. Every shot that they take, they got an average ranking for that.
Right.
What else? There's different things that go into it, and they get a score at the end.
Yeah.
And that's become a huge thing. Like
I don't get not offensive rebounding too. Like I just don't. It's like I've never told a kid not to shoot the ball after you get an offensive rebound. I stop them. I say I will yell at you if you take a 3 or a 5 shot that's horrible for you. You know, if you're a 12-footer shooter and you shoot a 18-footer, I'm going to yell at you and tell you not to do that. But if you get an offensive rebound, I'm never going to yell at you.
That's the biggest part of our individual offense ranking is offensive rebounds.
Right.
I mean, it's huge. How many times does the other team get an offensive rebound? I'll turn to my guys on the bench. Guarantee they hit a 3 here. Guarantee they hit a 3 here.
Yeah.
And then that happens. Yeah. And we're starting to get a little bit. You know, how many times will you tell a kid, like, you know, so shot from the opposite wing and you got a guard like right in front of you, like in the summer league games where they can hear you.
Right.
Hey, go get a rebound. And the kid squeaks in there and gets a rebound. But then the next time they won't do it. You know, let's go reward yourself and go put it up too. If you get an offensive rebound around the basket, very rarely am I going to tell you that it's a bad shot. Put it back up. You know, reward yourself.
Right.
I got one more question for you.
Okay.
So we have a post player who I think is going to be one of the better ones in the area. Big, strong football kid. You know, he's going to be a D2 type football kid. Really good player, but we struggle getting the ball to him at times. There's a lot of my kids now coming up have played in kind of an open post type system. They're just not any big ones. I mean, they're just a bunch of skilled guys. So they catch and they don't look. So we struggle with post entries. And I know we work on it in practice, but I'm just curious if there's anything that you've done in the past that you like.
So every time they catch the ball, they don't look at the rim?
They'll look there at the rim to see if they can get past their defender, you know, but they won't see they won't see the post player on the block.
Okay, so a couple things you probably have to do is you probably have to set up some sets for him to get touches.
And that was the second part of my question, if you have any good ones.
Yeah, I got some. I'll dig some out. It might be a week until I get back from vacation, but yeah, I got some sets. So I'll pull some of those out. So I'd work on some sets. I'd work on some calls where we don't shoot until he touches the ball. So we're gonna run purple, and the purple is, let's say you don't have to say his name, but let's say John has to touch the ball before we shoot. Now John doesn't necessarily have to shoot; he has to touch the ball. So that will force them to kind of start looking for John in the post. So I think sets is one way, second way, and then every time they catch it, are they loaded? Every time they catch the ball, I yell at my guys all the time. Look, you have to look at the rim, because if they look at the rim, they'll see the entire court. So they have to be loaded and look at the rim every time. You have to be a threat. If you're a threat to shoot, you're also a threat to pass and a threat to dribble.
And part of it is with our dribble drive, we're really focused on them looking at their defender before the pass is getting to you. Understand where your defender's at. Is he high? Is he low?
That is one of the problems with dribble drive. That's why I like read and react a little bit better, because there's not as much dribbling. Because with dribble drive, they're looking to do that. So then you maybe want to set some ball screens with him and some roll. Yeah.
We got into that a little bit last year, and it worked. Problem is, though, we we really haven't ran a lot of ball screens, or they haven't. And so we were working it in February. Yeah. And getting in the playoffs. So
I think that's three solutions to it. I think the call for him, the sets for him, and then working on screening and slipping for him, because it's basically still letting those guys create off the dribble drive. Because how the slip's going to be there 15 or 20% of the time, maybe. Can he shoot? Can he pop and shoot? Can he screen and pop?
Yeah, ask him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm asking you though.
See, the best and worst part is if he gets the ball around the basket against 90% of the teams that we play, he's going to score, or he's going to have a really good shot to score, just because he's just that much better than the kids.
Well, then you got to get him the ball. Yeah,
right?
You got to get him 10, 15 touches where he can create. I'd be honest with the guys too. When I've had like high school All-American, it's like they have to touch. We want to win. Like Chris Knight, who's playing at Dartmouth now, who is all state, blah, 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 great kid. I said, there were times in the season I said, if he doesn't touch the ball, we don't win. So get him the damn ball.
Right. And then the guard, there were times in summer where they realized that all of a sudden now the wings come down to dig. Just, hey, now you got a wide open shot. I mean, everybody wins. Everybody wins. Like, it's like they're only going to, and then again, film, going back to film, you can show some of that. It's like, you can find NBA, like if he's good, if they're getting the ball to LeBron in the paint, they're going to put three guys on him. That's why J.R. Reed gets open threes. Part of him too, because sometimes he'll just exist on a block where he'll be in front of a guy, but it's something as simple as just, all of a sudden we see you now. You now. He'll get there and he'll work, but he won't have his hands up, so our guys won't see him. So I mean, it's a two-way street.
And then he's got to get his hands up, and they got to see, and he's got to turn so they can see. Again, like little tidbits to the kids are important because their teenage brain is not fully developed. So you got to keep it really simple, like letters, numbers. Got to see numbers. Got to see hands, or you're not going to get the ball.
Or just make one more pass down to the wing. The amount of entry pass we've tried to make from the point, do one more pass on the wing, and it's such a higher percentage pass in there.
Right.
And there's a turnover, and the kid will come off. All right, let's talk about. I should have made the one more pass.
Yes.
Do it. Right. It's frustrating, but yeah, if you could dig up those sets, I have some stuff that I've used in the past, and it hasn't been great.
Yep.
And my last question here, I gotta get my son the T-ball here in a little bit. No worries. There
you go, mow the lawn.
I don't know what your summer, but we've had so much rain and so much sun. Like it's every other day.
Yeah, we did. That was early. The last we've had some rain, but it's been like torrential stuff, so it hasn't stayed. So it was growing really fast until July 4th, and then it has slowed. Thank God. Right. I don't fertilize.
I'm a golf course guy. I fertilize and I do all that stuff, which just makes it grow even more.
Yeah, I don't fertilize. My
last question is, so we run, a dribble drive motion style offense.
Okay.
And but I want to have some set stuff in there, some set calls. We can't just purely play motion. We need to have, I call them pacifier sets, where in like that 10-minute stretch where we're not scoring, we can run something that we know. How many are you guys similar, or do you have more set stuff?
Well, if you ask my assistant coaches, they think we have too many sets. I do sets. I do defense by numbers, and I do sets by colors.
Okay.
And again, remember what we were talking about at the beginning. Your goal is to get to the state tournament, win sectionals, all that kind of stuff. So you have to think about the farther you go along in the tournament trail, the less they're going to hear you, right? So you need to come up.
On a podcast yesterday.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I mean, I love playing in this. I love playing in the games right before the state tournament, more in the state tournament. Sounds crazy because the state tournament's at the Kohl Center, which is, holds 18,000 and maybe there's 13,000 there. But when you get into like a gym and it's packed, oh, it's crazy. It resonates through your body. It's unbelievable. It's like my drug, to be honest with you. But they won't hear you. Like I have to hold up a color, or I have to be able to hold up a number for them to know what we're doing, because they won't hear me. So I think that's what you got to think along. So again, why are we why are we calling red? And why am I holding it up every time we do it? Well, because we're going to play in this game, guys. It goes back to that psychological part. They'll call red with their, but they have to look over and get used to seeing you and the color, or your assistant holding it, or whatever it is.
Sure. I mean, how many do you have? Like, I'm just curious. Like that.
Yeah, I forgot what the question was because I got off on a tirade.
That's what my brain got.
I think it was 10 to 12 last year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I had my first year had like 5 to 6, and our kids were just, that's too much. How can you expect us to memorize all these? Guys, that's not that much. 5 to 6 real simple calls. Like if we want to be a big time program, we got to at least have 5 or 6 things that we can do.
Yes.
So. And I didn't know.
I find 10 to 12 to be the magic, because again, we're gonna have a couple post ISOs. We're gonna have a couple last end of game situation ISOs. We're gonna have a need a 3 ISO. We're gonna have a get to the free throw line ISO. You kind of have to. Don't just have them to have them. And one of my assistant coaches is awesome. He's a former head coach, and he goes, we'll come up with a play, it will work well, and then I'll come up with another one. He goes, well, what does this one do that this one doesn't do? Mm-hmm. So you always have to add, and he's very good at it, because my adult ADHD gets going, and I'll want like 30 seconds. He goes, no, Steve, this does exactly what this one does. We just need to get better at executing this one. So, if you're trying to get a pick and a roll and an ISO for 3, well, this one already does that. So you really have to think through, what does the play do and what does it create for your team?
And that's what I was going to ask you, like with these 10 to 12, like how much action do you really have like in that set? How many, because you look on Twitter and you see like these FIBA plays, like where there's 17 different.
Okay, first of all, that stuff's like the read and react stuff. Like it's no one does that. So, and the thing is, when you're getting pressured, you got to be able to enter the ball. So entering the ball is big, to be honest with you. My normal ones have 2 or 3 actions, and then we're right into it. Anything more than that, it tends to break down.
And is this something that you can call like in the middle of a possession, or is it something that?
Yep. So I'll either call it on a dead ball, like a free throw, run red, run blue next time, or timeout, something like that. If it's during the regular season, I can definitely call it. I can, as they're dribbling, my point guard dribbling it up, I can call it. But that's definitely harder, like I said, in bigger gyms and when it gets louder. Dead ball, all that kind of stuff, I'll do it. And then if you trust your point guard, sophomore, not sure, but if you trust your point guard, I let them do some calling.
That's where we want to get at. Even just have like some entries, some starters, like with 1 or 2 actions that we can get into. Dribble drive.
Especially if you're getting pressured or doubled or something, it's always good to have those with young guards. Yeah.
Get an advantage. As soon as we get an advantage on one guy, we're getting better, where we can make 1 or 2 kicks, and all of a sudden we have like a double gap or something like that, where we can get to the basket.
Right.
But against good defensive teams this summer, we can't get that initial advantage.
Right.
We just stop.
Yep. And then that will get them. It will get them moving initially, and that's a good thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's something that I need to remember.
I can look for some of those too. I'll look for I'll send you some of our sets too.
Okay.
I'll write myself a note to do that. It'll probably be the middle of August by the time I get that to you. But
That's everything on my list, Coach.
awesome. No problem.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Let me know when we'll once I get all this stuff sent off to you, we'll hook up again.
Yeah. It was sometime maybe before the season starts.
Yep. And I've told people at last office hours, what I'm going to try to do is try to do weekly ones on Sundays, because that tends to work best for me. And then try to I'm trying to figure out when everyone's season starts so we can start talking preseason stuff. We can start talking about tryouts. Mm-hmm. And then, if people want one-on-one calls, I can definitely do that. But the office hours are fun.
Most of you guys for having to do trials. Luckily, that's something I'll never have to do at my side of school.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could tell a boy, hey, you can't play basketball.
It's the worst day of the year. It's the worst day of the year.
God. Yeah.
It's the worst day of the year because but I don't post it. I sit them right across from me and I look them straight in the eye and I say, sorry. And here's why.
We are so inclusive we got kids on our team that shouldn't be playing basketball, but
right.
They love it. Part of the team and we can do that because we don't have the sheer amount of guys.
Right. Right. No, I'll have more guys try out for my varsity than you have playing in your program.
Right. And that's, we have actually, there's a whole bunch of stories I could tell you about the type of characters that we collect on our football. So we've like I said, I've been to 3 state championships with our football team.
Right.
And we have kids on our roster that wouldn't play on our 7th grade team.
Right.
We take them,
you know what I love is that is what's great about high school athletics. I'm telling you, I love it because it's where else I tell the boys, I say, you're never going to have a feeling like this the rest of your life. You're never going to you might have a team at work or you might have but you're never going to have this kind of feeling ever the rest of your life. It's the reason we coach,
We know these kids. There's so much equity into it because they've known each other since they're in kindergarten.
I know. All right, I'll let you get off T-ball. See you, Coach. All right. Bye. Hey, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to support us, you want to help us keep the lights on here at teachhoops.com, go over, join, 14-day free trial, and then stop the car, subscribe, like, Apple 5-star review. That would be good. All right. Maybe. Have a good day. Bye.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and it just occurred to me that ZipRecruiter has been sponsoring my podcast, The Way I Heard It, for the last 10 years. Consequently, I've agreed to sing their jingle at the end of this commercial in 4-part harmony, all by myself. Why would I do that? Because years ago, when the MicroWorks Foundation was expanding and I was desperate to hire a few uniquely qualified individuals, I posted a job for free on ZipRecruiter, and I found the people I was looking for in less than 24 hours. It's that simple. Ever since, I've been telling my audience that ZipRecruiter got me the most qualified, most interested people. And now I'm telling you. Post a job for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip and watch what happens. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. And now, here's their official jingle in 4-part harmony.
Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match at ZipRecruiter. Try it free.